What's going on, guys? So as you can see, completely new setup here. I'm actually at my house because we're gonna have a good conversation today. A lot of you guys have been writing to me and asking me questions on social media about how do I get into the psychedelic game legally? You know, as legalization moves forward, how do I get my feet in the game? You know, there's so many different facets to this whole industry, and I might not have a lot of money, I might have a big budget, whatever the case may be. How do I get into it? How do I start making a living doing what I love? So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Whether you have a huge open-ended budget or you're really tight, you don't have that much money, that much skin to put in the game, I'm gonna show you guys how you can make a living doing what you love in the legal psychedelics industry.
Dripping on acid in the hotel lobby. Everything moving hella fast, Ricky Bobby. Floating in the ethers. Listen to the ethers, you can probably tell the future. Superhuman man.
What's going on, Trip Team? First of all, I want to welcome you guys back to a brand new video. Now, as you guys can see, we aren't in the Trip Team family studio. This was just a video that was requested by you guys, and I wanted to knock it out and get it out to you guys. Today is the 25th of March. So this is a brand new video that I'm recording today. It's gonna be released today. I've just been getting flooded with questions, people asking me, Willie, how do I get into the legal psychedelics industry? You know, I wanna make money legally doing this. You know, it's a lot like the cannabis industry. You know, when cannabis started becoming legal, people that got into it early made a lot of money. Then the market got crowded, and you know, you could either hit it big with cannabis or you could barely get by with cannabis. But there's a lot of different facets that you could become successful. The name of the game is to get into it early if you really want to get into, you know, dispensaries and recreational and all that stuff. But the truth of the matter is a lot of people don't have the money to start a grow up or a dispensary, and there's many other facets in this industry that you could get involved in for very little money at all and make a really good living off it. But before we jump into the video, make sure you guys check out all my social media right here. Make sure you go subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. I'm always doing different things, giveaways, stuff like that. Plus my Patreon is right there at the top. This top one right here. It's you guys that support this channel. It's you guys that support this content. So without you guys over there at Patreon, we couldn't be able to do this. Now, there's a lot of cool things over there at Patreon, like my private chat room. You guys get different things like one-on-one calls with me, you know, Trip Team family merchandise. And the end of this month, on the 30th, I'm dropping the Myco mystery packs. I've talked about it in other videos, but pretty much it's the first of its kind. It's gonna be amazing. Anybody that gets one is gonna absolutely love it. There's only 500 mystery packs. They're all numbered, and once they're gone, they're gone. So if you want one, you have to go over to my Patreon, become a Patreon supporter, and you guys will be able to get one. I'm telling you, you're not gonna wanna miss it. There's genetics in there that you can't get nowhere else that you guys are definitely gonna want. So the people that do get those are gonna be extremely happy. And of course, if this is your first time ever on Willy's World, welcome to the Trip Team family. Now this setup is different than what I usually do. I'm usually in the Trip Team family studio teaching you guys about mycology and things like that. But this is a new style of video that I want to do every once in a while, just to have a one-on-one talk with you guys and educate you on some things that are going on. So if you like this format, you like what we're doing right here, this little personal style vlogging thing, then make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button and the bell off to the side, so that way you guys know when I drop a new video. But with that said, let's jump right into this conversation. So as of right now, some cities, some counties have legalized the possession of certain psychedelics. It's 100% legal. Now, that doesn't mean it's legal on a federal level, and you have to understand that, which means you could still go to jail on a federal level for possessing, for the sale of, for distributing, for manufacturing, all that stuff. So you have to follow the law. You need to set yourself up with an attorney that's extremely knowledgeable on the laws and how this whole industry works. because that's really going to be the key to the game. They have to file all the correct paperwork and everything you guys need so that you guys are doing things by the law. Doing things by the law is the most important thing when it comes to this. We want to try to take what this industry is out of the gray area and put it into the legitimate area where it's feeding money into the economy. It's, providing jobs for people and all them great things. So definitely speak to an attorney that's knowledgeable on this. Right now, the laws are changing every day, so I would give it a little bit of time before an attorney actually knows exactly what they're talking about. But from my attorneys, I could only tell you what I've went through and what I've spoken to attorneys about. It's going to be very, very similar to the cannabis laws. So if you've already been in the cannabis industry, you already own a dispensary or a grow up or something like that, pretty much the rules are going to be exactly the same when it comes to, how close you could be within a school zone, and, you have to keep the grow up separate from the retail and things like that when it comes to labeling and information on jars and merchandise. So it's going to be very, very similar. And that's also the same when it comes to filing fees. So as you guys know that have ever opened a dispensary or partnered in a dispensary, it's very, very expensive to even file the applications. It's thousands and thousands of dollars to just get the process going. That's not counting the lawyer's fees or anything like that. That's just money you pay to the city or the state, whatever it may be. Now, a lot of people don't have the money to do that. To even get into the dispensary industry, say you wanted to set up a retail shop, whether it's for cannabis or psychedelics, whatever the case may be, you're looking at a minimum investment of $1 million. That's minimum. Just to get everything filed, to purchase the location, get set up and running, you're looking at $1 million minimum that you need to invest to get up and running. Now, of course, if you want to partner with a couple people, you could drop that cost a little bit, but not everybody has the money to do that. But just because you don't have the money to open up a retail spot or a grow up where you're, constantly growing and supplying the dispensaries, doesn't mean that you can't be in this industry. So recently, something I did was I started up my own consulting agency or consulting firm. So what's actually happening is dispensaries that want to get into psychedelics are actually reaching out to me, and I work with some of the best mycologists and mushroom cultivators in the world. We go over there, we help them set up with their construction team, their grow room, their lab, everything like that. We get them set up and running, we train their staff, and then we do follow-ups and Zooms and stuff like that. So we teach them everything from inoculation to sterile lab work to genetics to top to bottom. We get them going, train their staff, and keep it going like that. Now, you could do something like that if you want, but you have to be extremely educated in the area of mushroom cultivation and mycology. These people have millions and millions of dollars invested in this, and they want the best training their staff so that they could turn a profit. Now, if that's something you're not able to do at the time, then you could always reach out to a consulting firm or a consulting agency, and you could ask if you could intern for them or you could work for them, and you could work with them and get involved that way. But let's say you can't get into the retail side of things because it's very expensive. You don't have the investment to make, to purchasing a property or to filing all the paperwork or starting up a consulting agency or whatever the case may be. You still could get involved. There's things that these grow-ups, that these retail spaces are gonna need, and a few of those things are supplies. So if you wanted to open up your own website that does wholesale on supplies, you can make a really good living. Just to name a few, if you wanted to supply genetics, so new genetics, new types of mushrooms that dispensaries and grow-ups can cultivate, that's a great industry to get into. It's 100% legal as of right now. Spores are 100% legal in all but 3 states as of right now. You could ship them, you could sell them. They don't contain any psilocybin, which is the illegal substance. So they are 100% legal to sell. You can't get in trouble for it. All these spore companies actually pay taxes to the government and everything like that. So there's nothing illegal about that aspect. Another aspect is selling filters and self-healing injection ports like micropose.com. They make a great product, and they're gonna do really, really well when this whole shroom boom happens, because these companies, these grow ops, are gonna need these certain types of things to continue operating. Then you got companies like Pugard.com that supplies, manure, dehydrated manure. A lot of these companies are gonna be city-based, so like in Los Angeles, in Boston, New York, wherever the case may be, and they're not gonna have access to farms where they could actually go get the manure straight from the farmer. Of course, some people will be able to do that and they'll be able to arrange that, but you could work with a company like Pugard.com that will actually ship and deliver whatever you need. If you need 20,000 pounds, 100,000 pounds, whatever the case may be, they will ship it directly to you, and it's of the highest quality. A lot of people in this whole area, in the psychedelic community, the mycology community, have made a really good living just on selling supplies, just selling stupid things like syringes and needles and, manure. And as long as you're supplying a quality product with the best customer service and you put your business and customers first, you're always gonna do well. You just have to be passionate about it. I know sometimes it sounds silly to be passionate about shit, but at the end of the day, that shit equals dollar signs. So if you're passionate about it, you can make a really good living doing so, and you're involved in the industry. I've helped a lot of these people out there in the community. I knew them way before they had any of their companies, and I gave them ideas to start up these companies, and I worked with them and educated them on what to do and how to do it. And now I look at these companies and they're making bank. When I tell you they're making bank, they are making big, big money selling supplies or selling, products, additives that we need to cultivate. And you could start that up for relatively cheap. Just think, sit back and think, do you have access to a farm where you could get manure for free or really, really cheap than what everybody else around the world is paying for it? If you could do that, you could set up a website, you could actually start going over there and working on the product and shipping it out to customers. And as long as you have quality product and you put the customers first, they're gonna come to you and buy your product. Like I said, I'm not a financial expert or anything like that, so don't take my word for any of this, but I'm just telling you from experience and from being in this industry, being successful myself, what works and what doesn't. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, you could get involved at any point in time for the littlest amount of money. So let's talk about the least expensive thing that you can get involved in when it comes to legal psychedelics. And that's purchasing shares of stocks in companies that are already doing it. So there's many different companies that are already in the legal psychedelic space that have shares of stocks on the market, on the NASDAQ, on the OTC, on the NYSE, all that different, even in Canada, all around the world, in every different stock market, you could actually get involved in some of these companies. I'm actually invested in a lot of these companies myself. I'll be completely transparent with you guys and tell you which ones I am invested in and which ones I think is a good investment. So the first company I want to talk about that you could get invested in is this one right here, Light Holland. Now their symbol on the stock exchange is TRUFF, truff, just like truffles. Now this company is really amazing. They're based out of Amsterdam, and they've been supplying sclerotia or magic truffles to the head shops over there in Amsterdam for a long time. Now this company just got approved to start distributing to Canada and Brazil on a medicinal level. So by the governments of Brazil and Canada, they worked out deals where they're gonna be able to distribute to them 2 different places. And that news just came about within the last month. They've been coming out with new news every day. They're getting into different areas, different countries, things like that. But the really special thing about this company is they have a microdose kit. So if you go to a dispensary where it's legal, you guys could buy their microdose kit, and it's already portioned out for each day of the week with a microdose. So you literally just open it and take it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The amazing part about this is gonna be for the people that ain't looking for a psychedelic experience. They're using this as a medicine. So you already got that pre-portioned out in a nice little package that you could go in, pick up, and walk out with. So it leaves all the guesswork out of it. Now there is some other companies doing it, but Truff is the one that I'm invested in. I hold about 40,000 shares in Truff, and I got in at around like 19 cents a share is my average. Right now it's up to about 25 cents a share, which is nothing. And if you guys wanted to get involved with that company, you could go and do that, and you're buying shares, you're buying ownership in that company. So you're a partial owner in that company when you buy shares. And you know, this isn't an overnight thing. This is for the long haul. This is a long-term investment. You know, for these companies to really do well, where their stock is $2, $3, $4, $5, whatever the case may be, we don't know what it will go to. You have to wait for legalization to start here in the States, where dispensaries can start actually selling it to consumers or to patients that need it. Another company I'm invested in is Mindmed, MMED. So this is another great company, and this is an amazing stock. I got into this stock for under $1 a share, and recently it went up to over $2 a share. Now, a lot of people hate on this stock, but this stock has done really well for me. And if you guys wanted to get into this company, you could do it. This company is the same exact thing. They have a microdose kit that's already portioned out, and they're more for the medicinal side of psychedelics. So if you guys did want to get involved with them, you could always go open up a free brokerage account and buy shares. You become an owner in these companies. You know, when cannabis first started legalizing and becoming recreational in so many states, I started buying stocks into these cannabis companies, and they did really well for me. They've cooled off since, but we did have what was called the weed boom or the bud boom or the cannabis boom, where things just went absolutely crazy. And I already had my shares before that happened, so I did really well in a lot of those stocks. Now I'm doing the same thing with legal psychedelics. And the really cool thing about this is whether you have $5 or $500,000, you could build your position in the company over time. Buy a couple shares at a time, and you keep building your position. When the shroom boom does happen, when legalization starts happening across the board, recreational, medicinal, these stocks are going to do really well, because these are companies that are already established, that have already been in the game overseas in Amsterdam, that have done really well over there, and now they're already getting awarded contracts and license in different countries like Brazil and Canada, which is moving a lot faster than the United States of America. Now, like I said, even though in some cities and counties psychedelics might be legal to possess, the sale, distribution, manufacturing is still illegal. I can't stress that to you guys enough. So please be very careful. You know, always check with an attorney before you get into this, because that attorney is going to be your best friend. He's going to make sure all your paperwork's straight, that you're a legitimate business, that you're not going to go to jail. And if something goes wrong, your lawyer could fix it. Same thing with investments. If you want to speak to a financial advisor before making any type of investment, I strongly suggest it. I always have 2 lawyers on retainer. I have a business lawyer, a criminal lawyer, plus I have financial advisors that help me with my investments. You know, even though I personally like this industry, I love this industry, so I want to invest in this industry, at the end of the day, you want to make your money work for you, and you want to invest smartly. No matter how much money you have, you could get invested in this industry. Whether you're gonna open up a retail spot, you're gonna supply the retailers and the grow-ups with supplies, or you're gonna invest on the back end with the companies in shares. Either way, there's 3 different options for 3 different budgets, and you can make a really good living in either one of those places. I gotta tell you guys, just to be completely transparent, I've been in the retail side and I've been in the stock side. I've never been a supplier of any equipment, spores, anything like that, but I know a lot of people that are in that industry, in that little sector, and they do really well. Another thing about a lot of these places, a lot of these people that are in the industry, they're always willing to offer advice or talk with you. You know, reach out to people, network. if you want to ask somebody about starting up your own spore company or your own supply company, reach out to the spore companies, reach out to the supply companies, and just tell them what you're planning on doing and that you would like some advice. Can they take you under their wing? Can you shadow them? Can they help you? A lot of these people want to help and encourage other people to get into the industry, because at the end of the day, this is a community. It's a community that you could do well in business-wise, but at the end of the day, it's a community and we're all here to support each other and help each other. If you guys know me, you guys know I'm the first person that will give advice to anybody I talk to. You know, so many people have came to me before they opened up YouTube channels that are pretty well-known YouTube channels today and said, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And I would offer them advice and tell them exactly what I did. I would tell them how I succeeded, my failures, what I learned from my failures, so they don't make the same mistakes. And I know in them industries, in them different facets, the people are the same exact way. They'll help you out. They're not gonna look at you like competition. They're gonna look at you as an ally that they wanna help so you guys could work together in the end. The more successful people we have in this industry, the better it is for all of us. Like I said, it creates jobs for other people that want to be part of this industry, in this community. It puts money back into the economy. We could invest into research so we could get more information on how these psychedelics and substances are actually helping people. There are so many different good things to this community, and once you get involved, you're never going to look back. I wake up every single day happy that I make a living doing what I love. I love educating people. I love being part of this community. I love creating content for you guys. And I honestly wouldn't want it no other way. You know, whether I made $5 a day or $50,000 a day, I'd still be completely happy, wake up and go to sleep with a smile on my face. Because I love this community, I love the Trip Team family, and I love you guys. So there you go, guys. That's 3 different ways you can get invested into this community with a lot of money, a little money. It really doesn't matter. There's so many doors and avenues for you guys. Hopefully you like this video. If you like this video, like I said, just hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, because we're trying to get the channel to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I know we could do it with your help. I looked at the analytics the other day. About 70% of you guys that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you guys just take a second and hit that subscribe button, you'll see that number jump up really, really quick. As always, social media, all that's right here. I love you guys. I'm Willy Myco. Do good, be good, live good. Namaste.